Namaste, everyone. Today is the Lion's Gate, 8-8. And I talked about this in detail yesterday, so I don't feel like I have to be detailed about it today, except just as a reminder, today is the pinnacle point of the Lion's Gate that lasts about 16 days. Just a reminder that this lines up with the Sirius star. The Sirius star is considered the spiritual sun. The Egyptians really honored Sirius and even had the Queen's Chamber facing the Sirius star, and it should be visible if we have clear skies tonight. So if you have one of those apps or a telescope and you want to try to find it, it should be up. Now, this is considered a portal that mystics, healers, and astrologers have looked at every single year when the veil is thinner between the material or physical and the spiritual or other plane. So we're going to be doing a little bit of gentle yoga at the start of class, and then we're going to be more restorative towards the end. Because in the restorative yoga, I really want us to focus on receiving the light and the energy for our spiritual health and wealth. And just remember that because August has all of this astrological stuff happening, it is supposed to be a big, explosive, disruptive month. Try to stay calm and as neutral as possible, even if things try to divide us. Stay in the middle way, stay in that Christ-like consciousness, that unity state of consciousness, if at all possible, to help us to transcend beyond where we are. The last thing I will say about this is the alignments of everything this month is trying to encourage us to move forward with our creative expression. With that being said, I was listening to someone who channels and who's psychic and an astrologer. They have all the things on my way home from the studio. And he was saying the month of August, because a lot of planets are going to be in retrograde, it is a good time to rest some more, even though our energy is kind of being pushed for creative expression, just so that we can pull back, just so that we can put everything out on the table and study it to the nth degree to make sure that the choices we make on our movement and strides forward is going to be the right path. He was also saying that a lot of light workers that have been doing a lot of this work will be pulling back, which is really funny because I've already said in August I'm not going to be working as hard. Little thing that I said to myself. But he said a lot of light workers are actually going to get turned on and be really moving forward. So you're going to see some slip back and some coming forward. So we'll see how that works out. Let's go ahead and begin on the mat. I would prefer you have blocks, bolster, blanket for this particular class today. We're going to start on our backs. Have one block beside you, please. Let's go ahead and recline onto our backs. You can have your legs straight or your knees bent. Once you close the lids of your eyes and tune and check within, your back will probably tell you which is best. So explore the two options, because each day is different. Find a good placement for your hands. Open up the breath of life. Gazing it up to your mind's eye, which I often like to look at as a portal to the state of enlightenment, portal to higher awareness. And you can even picture the sign of infinity at your brow. You can even practice a little eye yoga and trace that sign of infinity across your brow. If your legs are straight, let's go ahead and inhale, bend both knees. And then we're going to fly the left leg up in the air. You can hook your hands to hold the back of your thigh. You can slide them up towards your calf, or even link the peace mudra around the big toe. Because I'm having a little back stuff show up, I'm not even going to use my hands. I'm just going to extend it in the air. And you could also have this as your option. I would suggest activating the foot, spreading the toes, powering up through the leg as though you're trying to extend it all the way to the ceiling. Notice how that activates more muscle groups. And anytime we contract and release or tense and release the muscles, it helps to bring circulation in, to flush it out, to send the toxins away, and to bring the fresh nutrients in. All right, on your next exhale, I want you to bend your left knee, and you're going to take your hands behind the knee or thigh, and you're going to pull it straight in towards your chest. So it's not happy baby, where the knee V's away from the shoulder. It's actually coming straight in towards your body. Now you also have the option to slide your hands up your calf and pull down, or take your fingertips to the sole of the foot and pull down. This is different work for the hip, and something that I could not do the other day when something snapped in my back. So I'm very happy I can achieve this now. Keep paying attention to the messages received in the body. And the best way to receive these messages is to stay in control and in command of your breath. Those deep yogic breaths will connect the mind and body more together so that the messages become more crystal clear. All right, now that you've been drawing that knee in towards your chest line, you're going to release the foot, sink it down to the sticky mat, but then you're going to fan the left knee to the side. So your right knee's turned up and your left knee is down in half butterfly. So after you externally rotate the hip, have your hands resting down at your lower abdomen. Breathe in the diaphragmatic way so that you feel your belly rising up on the inhale and falling back in on the exhale. So notice when we're in half butterfly, sometimes it can be a little bit more intense because that knee will fall a little lower towards gravity. versus two being open at the same time. So those deep diaphragmatic breaths will keep you calm and subdued, even though that sensation wants to pipe up. This is the idea of the energy for August. Can we remain calm in the midst of any outer storms? On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and turn the left knee back up. We'll take this sequence to the second side. So lift your right leg skyward, flex the ankle. And then you can determine today, how does it feel? And would it be the right move to hold your thigh, calf, foot, or just keep it suspended on its own? Lengthen up through the right leg. Power up through the sole of the foot. Remember here, we're not allowing the buttocks to curl away from the floor. We want the low back stable and stacked down on the mat. Feel free to play your edge at any point in time if you find that your body releases. And then let's bend the knee, take the hands behind it, and you're gently pulling in. Again, towards your chest line, instead of allowing it to angle away from your body. Maybe see if you can take your calf to pull, or hold the foot to pull. Good, now let's release the foot back to the floor. We'll externally rotate the hip, sitting the right knee downward. So just the singular side. But also I want you to notice how this feeds back into the buttock region. And that's because when we externally rotate the hip, it also includes the gluteus medius muscles. Breathe down low into the abdomen, which also allows us to shift the parasympathetic nervous system. The legs are about breaking out of past conditioning, finding a way to feel safe and secure, connecting and healing from our ancestral roots and wounds. The hips are about letting go and opening up the creative energy within. Let's go ahead and slowly lift the right knee back up. And this is where I want you to find your block. We're going to do the supported bridge a little bit differently today. So follow my cues. Press down through the feet long enough to tuck and lift away from the floor and slide the block underneath the low back. Now, instead of just relaxing the arms today, I want us to activate the arms. So we're going to roll the shoulders under the body to give us a little platform. and to widen the chest, to open up the center or cavity of the chest. And you are pressing lightly through the upper arm bones. Your hands may or may not be flat to the floor here, so don't be concerned over that. Notice with your arm bones rolling out, your shoulders tucked under, your chest more open. We're going to also push down through the mound of the big toes. We're rolling the thighs inward. And notice how it changes up the supported form of bridge to be slightly active. Don't overwork, but feel the difference. And affirm mentally within, I offer every thought as a bridge to divine grace. The lion's gate being the bridge between the material or physical and the spiritual realm. All right, we're going to activate this a little more. All right, so your shoulders are still tucked under, your chest is lifting towards your chin, your feet are pushing down. Now start to squeeze the glutes and lift and arch up away from the block. And notice when you start to squeeze the glutes, how you start to loosen up your feet. I know I'm not alone there. So drill back down through the insoles of the feet and let your knees start to squeeze towards each other, like you have an imaginary ball or block in between. If you can see your belly, notice it rising on the inhale, descending on the exhale, and then gently lower on your next out breath and slide your arms wider so that you feel the back weight coming into the upper back and neck versus the shoulders. All right, from here, we're going to stiff arm the left knee. And when we stiff arm that knee, we're pushing the two together, creating and firing up resistance. And then we're going to release the left leg, straighten it out if that's okay for the SI joints. Rest that heel. Let the foot just flop. And now breathe into the iliopsoas, the front side of the left hip that moves in towards the pubic bone. All right, walk the left foot back. We'll stiff arm the right knee, pushing the two together. Just try not to hold your breath. Resist, resist, resist. Put the effort in. And now extend your right leg. Release the right arm. Let go. And then step the right foot back. We're going to lift the legs into waterfall. Flying the feet overhead. Bring the circulation down to the core. Draining lymphatic tissues in the legs. Creating this inversion to calm the mind. From waterfall, we're now going to separate the feet and push up through the heels. Stretch out the inner thighs. I don't know if you just heard one of my dogs grunt and sigh out. She was expressing what I was feeling here. All right, inhale, bring the legs back together, bend the knees and step them down to the sticky mat. And then you're going to fan the knees open. The sequence with the block, the waterfall to konasana to butterfly. I remember receiving this sequence from Kate Ermy that used to teach at Half Moon on Sunday mornings. So I'm bringing you a little cake this morning. So when I first did this pose, I was thinking, should we be doing the pose this way? Because it's a little awkward and it feeds a lot of sensation, right? And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, it works because when the soles of the feet are together and we're flying butterfly, it naturally allows for us to feel and experience the natural curve of the low back. And so we're still getting a curve through the spine here. All right, just open your arms to the goddess or winged arm position. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And then gently lift the knees back up. You may need to do that one at a time. Solidify the feet. Bring the arms back around because we're going to tuck and lift away from the block. Send it out from below and roll down 1 vertebra at a time. Once you lower to the sacrum, tuck your knees in. So usually this brings great comfort to most people's backs. It's a nice stretch, but this is one thing that I could not do the other day when I tweaked my back. So I know I'm progressing because I can do it now. Wind release pose. All right, from wind release pose, we're going to lift onto the elbows and flatten the hands, kind of like Sphinx arms are beside us. But instead of collapsing into the shoulders, chest, and belly, you're pushing down through the arms and lifting through the belly and chest. And then we're going to send the legs up at an angle before us. You can point the toes. This is a more gentle way to do Navasana boat. And then we're going to lower the feet, hover above the floor. Find a good angle for your head and your neck. Lift the feet back up where we began. Hold and breathe. Little core work here. The strengthener for the hip flexors too. All right, let's send them down. We're just doing 3 of these. All right, last one. Lift the legs back up at that particular angle. Bring the feet down. And then you can lift 1 elbow at a time to land the feet and to sit up if that works for you. We'll walk the feet in. We're going to find the block that's in front of us. And we're going to sit on it today. This is a more restorative way to do squats. Now, bring your fingers together, your index and thumbs. This is the Jnana Mudra for wisdom. And you can just have your hands open on your knees. The thighs are wide, you're sitting on the block. And hopefully your feet are flat because that'll give you better balance and stability. Close your eyes. You could actually do this if you have a footstool, say in your living room. You could do this on a lower table, like coffee table. Let's count 8 more breaths since it's 8 8. You haven't arrived to 8 yet, you can pause until you do. If you've already arrived to 8, you can lift your seat, send that block away, come up to stand, and pull the feet more together. Let's bring hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Look straight ahead so the chin remains parallel to the ground. As you exhale, hands together, hinge from your hips. That's the mistake I made the other day when I was petting my dog and tweaked my back. So what we're learning in yoga really should be applied off the mat. And typically I do, but I just had a moment where I just didn't. Try to gravitate the head and the heart a little lower towards your feet. Give a little bobble to the head. Bringing the replenishment to the face, to the sensory organs, to the glands. And then on your next in-breath, we're going to step back to plank. From plank position, get long and strong through your body so your hips aren't elevated too high. Keep pushing the ground away from you with your hands to build some upper body strength. We're going to lower the left knee below the hip. Send that foot off to the side. Roll down to the right foot and take the right arm up. Now, if you really plug the right foot down and the left shin down, it should help. But if you want to strengthen the hip, you can lift the right leg up. Feel as though you're trying to reach the wall. Balance and breathe. Now drop the right foot back down. Arch up through your side ribs. Let your head lower towards the bottom arm, and the top arm drapes over the ear. You can even have a C curve with the arm. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Spin onto the ball of the right foot. Step your left foot back, plank. Exhale, land your right knee. Shift that foot over and lower the left foot, uplift your left hand. You are welcome to stay here, just as you are. But if you want to amp up the challenge, remember, anchor down first. Feel all the points on the floor. And then see if you can stabilize your core and lift your left foot. Exhale, foot down, head drapes down, top arm drapes over. Breathe with depth and control. Exhale, turn onto the ball of the left foot, step your right foot back, plank. Exhale down to your knees, both knees, untuck the toes, rock forward to up dog, and then rock back to Balasana, child's pose. And do that a couple rounds. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, rocking back. One more, inhale, coming forward. Exhaling to child's pose. Turning here, be still and know that I am. Rock up to hands and knees. Exhale, let's go to downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, power down through the palms, stretch long through your arms, sail up through your seats. Look at your feet and make sure there's just a slim space in between the big toes. And then inhale, lift your left leg a portion or halfway up. Please don't scissor it up. We're keeping the shoulders square and even. We're keeping the hips square and even. And then lower the left foot and immediately fly the right leg a portion of the way or halfway up. The one-legged style of downward facing dog. And lower the right foot and sink down to your knees. All right, we're going to sit back a moment. We're going to take the bolster across the mat. We haven't done this one in a while, actually. Our rim of the pelvis is going to come to this forward side. Our thighs are going to be on top. So it looks like this. Now, I usually like to separate my feet. Testing it out right now. And then we cross the arms and lower the head. So it's like a restorative form of the passive crocodile. You're face down. Make any adjustments that'll help you to find comfort. Let's offer 8 more breaths in this pose. To the 8, slip your hands under your shoulders, push up away from the prop, and we're going to sit back on our heels. Turn the bolster long way, slide it in between the knees, and we're coming down for child's. Now, I do know sometimes it's helpful to put a block under the forward side of the bolster. Sometimes it's helpful to have a thin or thick blanket under the knees or between your seat and your feet here. So grab the tools and props and see what you need. And you can rest on your brow or one cheek. If you're on one cheek, turn to the other. Finish this side with 8 more breaths. At the end of your 8, slowly start to come up. And we're going to use all the things for the next positioning. So your 2 blocks will go side by side. Your bolster will lean onto it, about like so. This will be where we cross the legs over. And then, of course, you can wrap up in a blanket or use it like a pillow. Or for weights. Settle in. Or pick something different if this one's not speaking to you today. I'm going to take us through a little guidance before I give you silence. Start by taking a few deep breaths. And with your eyes turned down, gaze into your brow as if you were looking towards the evening sky. This time of the year, the Sirius star is one of the brightest. And some refer it to as the dog star. Thus, the saying stems from the dog's day of summer. Just as we receive light, warmth, and energy from the sun we revolve around, know that as we line up to the Sirius star, it feeds our spirit. Imagine as you're looking up, finding the Sirius star, the spiritual sun, that it's sending liquid, sparkling light to rain down upon each of us. Let it rain down, bathe, purify, to initiate, activate, and awaken your soul. Look at some of that sparkling light collecting down into your heart. And as you're dropping into your heart with the sparkling light, imagine a lion roaring. Similar to what we often see when we watch the movies. There's a certain brand or company that has the lion roaring at the beginning. But this roar is not ferocious. It's firm, it's protecting, it's gentle, it's compassionate, it's courageous. The lion is king of the jungle because of its heart. The lion in your heart, gazing into your mind's eye. The portal at the heart allows us to connect the soul, the spirit, to the infinite. The portal at the third eye for awakening and enlightenment. So now as you continue to rest and breathe, and as I leave you in silence, breathe up to the brow, breathe down into the heart between these portals. Within this important portal of Lion's Gate energy. Take 8 more breaths. Lose another 8. You can hug the knees in. Roll across to one side. Come up for a seat. This really and truly is a perfect day to take time to light a candle, to write down and journal your thoughts, ideas, to sit and meditate, anything that's going to bring you back home within. Let's sit up nice and tall. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hands to prayer. May we all walk away from this practice being free and at peace from anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal stressors of our own. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. The last thing I'll mention is Allison and I on our Awakening Soul Truth, the YouTube channel, we have a Lion's Gate segment and meditation. So if you're wanting to be guided in the meditation, go ahead and pull that up, and the meditation is at the end.